got a battle with a guy who lives in 1991. Tom. So I lead with is a moth because it's a man moth, and he leads with AVG, which is a very strong virus program. So I tried to show him what viruses my Mamoswine has because it has ancient power on a physical set. So he tries to cool down my computer by turning on some more fans and whatnot, but doesn't seem to work. So after eating leftovers, we decided to just quake the ground because shaking the ground should probably fix my moveset, but apparently it doesn't, but it's a proper move to have on a Mamoswine. So he ice beams, which doesn't do much because my computer is already cool enough, so it won't matter that much if it gets cooler. So he's hoping for some type of hacks, I guess, and he keeps going for Ice Beam, or that's the best move he can go for. I'd rather go for Tri Attack if I were him, but I don't think his AVG carries that. So he continues getting my computer ice cream because it needs to cool down and whatnot, and yes, I just stole Banana's joke. Got a problem with it? Well, I do, because I didn't mean to do that. So I Earthquake, and I kill off the AVG virus program because, I have a really strong virus on my computer, and it just killed AVG. So now I go back up to 87 HP, which is not 63, and he goes out to Leafeon, and I'm like, oh, great. So I Ice Shard, and it does, like, a considerably good amount considering Leafeon's base 110 defense. Oh, look, I'm being X-Force Ticket, I'm talking about base defenses and whatnot. So he kills me off the Leaf Blade, and that's very good for him, because Leaf Blade's a great stab move to have. So now he decides to Wish, thinking that something, I don't know, and I Overheat, which will obviously take out Oscar the Grouch. So now he's mad that his wish didn't come true, and I lose with special attacks because it's just Flareon's thing. And this is supposed to be a Life Orb Flareon, but it's not Life Orb because it has leftovers for some reason. So I just go to Latios because I figure he's not going to do anything like Ice Punch, and he gets his wish, but he's already at full health, so it doesn't really matter. Now he goes out to Flow, and he's like, go with the flow, man. And I'm like, hey, wanted to see a trick? So I show him a trick, and he gains a belt, and he puts on the belt. So the Sandstorm's raging about just like he would. And I get up to 200 HP, which is okay for me, and then I go for Draco Meteor, because I don't know what he's going to do. I was thinking Pursuit, but he ends up going for Focus Punch. And that ends up being great for me, because now he's locked on Focus Punch, and he won't be able to attack me, because I'll just keep attacking him. So after Latios has finished bouncing around and gaining health, he goes out to Salad Face, which is a hacked Celebi because no Celebi can be nicknamed, because Nintendo is stupid. Anyway, I Thunderbolt, which does nothing because Celebi is just amazing in all ways, forms, and shapes. And now that I've talked about all the different things that you can learn in preschool, I decide to switch out to something that's not from preschool. It's an Excellent Mother. Well, actually, it could be from preschool. So Excellent Mother comes out, and the reason it's called Excellent Mother is because, Pit Angelico says that the substitutes are Kangaskhan babies, and since I have Substitute on this set, it's using its baby as a human shield. Hooray. So I set up Substitute because I figure he might not be able to break a Substitute, but he just decides to go for Energy Ball, which will break my Substitute because, +2 I think he's at. So he keeps gaining stats and doing all this other shenanigans with his Celebi. And he keeps eating salad. And I return just because I want to return my child to daycare. And he Energy Balls, and it just almost a lot of damage, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of something. So I die from Sandstorm because it just rages and Tom rages, so obviously it's something that happens. So we both get buffeted, and then I bring out my Kung Fu Chick, which is double pun because it's Kung Fu Chicken and it's Kung Fu Girl, because, it does Kung Fu and it's a girl. So I Blaze Kick, and it fails to KO the Celebi as he goes for recover. He was thinking that he would probably die, but So Celebi gets up to over half because stupid recover, and the fact that Celebi is just a freaking broken Pokemon all around. But then again, I like Celebi, so it doesn't really matter. So now he withdraws and goes to Flow because he can resist a Blaze Kick, which is kind of irrelevant because it doesn't really matter that much because I have superpower on this thing, and I could probably kill this stupid Tyranitar. So I decide to predict here in Thunder Punch, but it doesn't end up paying off that much for me because he crunches and doesn't kill me. So the Sandstorm continues raging about because Tom likes raging, and Tyranitar he seems to always get in roulettes. So I use getting a useless crit with Reversal because this is my lead Blaziken, which Agility, Reversal, Blaze Kick, and Thunder Punch. Covers a lot of types. So he goes up to Teppanyaki, and now I know it's a Scarf Teppanyaki because he goes for Brick Break. and I die. So now, Sandstorm continues raging just like Tom, and Teppanyaki gets hurt by the Sandstorm. So now I got to Tangrowth because Tangrowth's a pretty cool guy, and he's all tied up and whatnot. So he goes out to Celebi predicting my Leech Seed, which is weird because you're not supposed to be able to predict in roulettes. And I get buffeted by Sandstorm, he gets buffeted by Sandstorm, and then we both eat leftovers because we're just copying each other. And, in all honesty, according to Smogon, Celebi is a superior Tangrowth. But I don't really buy that crap. So he goes for Hidden Power Fire or Ice, and then I Sleep Powder, and he was pretty much telling me that Flareon would screw over most of his team, and so would Blaziken, but he got rid of Blaziken, so it doesn't really matter that much. So I continue eating leftovers and getting my salad eaten from his face, because Salad Face obviously needs less salad. So I knock off his leftovers because he doesn't need to eat any more leftovers because he's a salad, and salads don't eat. I learned that from watching Sesame Street. So I continue eating leftovers, and he doesn't because I took his away. And now I go back out to Species Claws, predicting a Wake Up of all things, and he gets the Flash Fire boost because Hidden Power Fire. And he was just like, what? How do you predict a Wake Up? So now I figure out that I'm leftovers, because I wasn't sure what item I had on this, and I didn't think about actually looking at the status screen. So now that I have a Flash Fire boost, he predicted that I would go for the Overheat, but I just go for Flamethrower because I know that it'll probably take it out. Since this is a really weird Flareon, it's mixed, but it's supposed to have Life Orb, not leftovers. So I kill it off in one hit, and that's really good. So Sandstorm continues to rage, just like Tom, and my Species Claws ended up getting buffeted and doesn't like that. Because Smogon says that these things are two different species, but I consider Leafeon and Flareon to be the same species because they both evolved from the same Pokemon. So I know I can probably live a hit from Teppanyaki since it's not his banded one, and I managed to live the Brick Break and go for an Overheat and kill him off. Which, in retrospect, I probably should have just gone for the Flamethrower. But, you never know. So, I end up getting down to 30 HP, which is bad, because now he goes up to his last, which is a Maharo, which is his weird Magnezone, and he's like, what? You have a very slow Flareon. God, you really did fix that to us. So, he kills me off with Thunderbolt, and now I'm pretty much screwed unless I can get a crit with Draco Meteor or anything else. So, I decide to bait to see if he has Hidden Power Ice or not, and he does, and Tangrowth is going to go down because Tangrowth's special defense sucks. And then it dies. So now out comes Whoosh, and I was hoping I could whoosh my way to victory, but apparently not, because I Draco Meteor after recovering, because I wanted to see if I could stall him out, but that's not going to be easy to do, because it doesn't really matter. So I was telling him on MSN, because we were talking on MSN at the time, that the only way I'd win this is if I get a crit, which I'm not going to, because my luck sucks, I never get hacks, I never get anything, and I just continue to get buffeted by Sandstorm because it keeps raging about, and that's just what Tom likes to do. So I Draco Meteor here, and he was like, if this crits, I'm just going to blah, or whatever. I don't remember what exact words he said on MSN, but it doesn't crit because it's just my luck, and he gets a useless crit with Hidden Power Ice. So that was a good game, Tom. Hopefully I'll get more narrations up. It's just, it feels like a chore to do narrations now. I did narrate a battle on the Federation, so go check that out if you want to.